Welcome back to Southern Cross Group Stadium. Second half action, the Australian Jillaroos up against the Canada Ravens. A spot in the 2017 World Cup final up for grabs, and it's the Jillaroos to get us back started here with a big run from Eliana Walton.
Release the ball now. On the mark.
Walton now out to the 25 as we see Karina Brown. Already got 2 tries to her name.
Hold it.
Karina Brown plays it. And now it's with Ruan Sims. Up towards halfway. It's been all one-way traffic thus far. Studden gets it to Moran. Outside to Kezi Apps, taken by Natasha Smith, and also Waddell for the Ravens. And Studden now to Moran, who'll kick right on halfway. Back there is Thomas Reynolds for Canada, who retrieves. And Reynolds takes it out to the 25.
Hold it. Go one.
And now it's with Natasha Smith.
Okay, off the ball. Mark straight. Wait here, girls. Go 2.
The Ravens now. Their captain, Marchak.
Tackle 3. Square, Kezi. Hold.
Tireless worker is Mandy Marchak, and now it's with Kathleen Keller. First player from Quebec to represent the Canada Ravens, Kathleen Keller. And again, here's Thomas Reynolds.
19.
Tackled there by Brander and also Apps. Last tackle. Not a bad set of 6 here. Although the kick wasn't probably what they were hoping for, and it's now in the hands of the winger Karina Brown.
It was a really good set until the last play there from the Ravens. They powered lots of metres up the middle of the park, some good variety on the edge, but just they need a better result off the kick there, because all of a sudden the Jillaroos, through Meg Ward, playing the ball on the halfway line.
Let's take this opportunity to go downstairs for an update with Nathan Kalis.
Yeah, Drew, so update from the Canadian Ravens dressing room. No injuries from the coach. Very, very happy with what they've been able to do with the ball. They obviously need a little bit more possession, and he's asked the girls to make their tackles and try and work harder to control the ruck. In regard to the Jillaroos, Steph Hancock, look, she's picked up that stinger. They're not overly keen to risk her in the second half. Obviously a big game coming up next weekend. The coach, Brad Donald, very impressed with their first half. He wants the girls to stay focused, be ruthless, and send a message to the New Zealand Ferns team.
Thank you, Nathan. And just on Steph Hancock, just a correction there. She was, in fact, the daughter of Rowan Hancock. Of course, the Queensland and Australian prop forward, the late 70s, early 80s. So a big cheerio to Rowan Hancock. Of course, be very proud watching his daughter, Steph. And she's unlikely to return, unfortunately, this afternoon, as we see a knock-on there from Corbin McGregor after the scrum feed from that driving defence from the Jillaroos. So the Ravens with a little break there.
Otherwise you're away.
A little bit of banter there.
Heads down. In you go.
Stevie
Hold the weight,
Schnorr
girls.
and
Feed.
referee Adam G. And we'll just be coming back here for take 2.
Plus, we can't break apart if we're going to push. Give her a tunnel. Second row, give her a tunnel.
Get ready for the
girls,
first
hold the
round.
weight.
Let's go.
Hold the weight. In you go. Out.
And the ball now comes the way of a barnstorming Natasha Smith.
Hold it. All the way. Go.
You heard Nathan Kalis say in the first half he'd love to see the likes of Smith with more footy.
Yep.
Adam G.
Canada feed.
Set a knock-on against the Australian Jillaroos.
Bit of a slow second half here. A couple of errors already from the Jillaroos. And just off the back of what Nathan Kalis was talking about, what Coach Brad Donald asked for in this second half, they want to send a message to this Kiwi Ferns. At the moment, they're certainly not sending that message. A couple of early basic errors. We see the Ravens getting expansive.
And here's Thomas Reynolds. They said they wanted to throw the ball around more in this game. He didn't get the opportunity in the first half. Will we see it in the second half? Meanwhile, Australian Jillaroos haven't conceded a point in 5 consecutive halves of footy. And in 3 halves of football, are leading Canada 130 points to nothing if you count the 88-0 drubbing last time round, Renee Gardner.
I mean, you've got to give the Canadians some credit, though. They've had 43% of the possession, but they still have quite a high completion rate at 79%, which is a polar opposite site that we saw in the first game. I think they were sitting around 40 or 50%.
Here's Wealther Naglis to play it. Thanks, Renee. Comes away now of McDade, the halfback. Kicks across. Acevedo was there, but well taken.
Surrender!
It was Karina Brown, and you're absolutely right, Renee. We look at the statistics from Canada, and 12 from 15 completion rate. That's pretty healthy at 80%. Got 1 less error from the Australian Jillaroos, and really, there's not a lot not to be too concerned with, apart from really the missed tackles and the lack of line breaks.
Yeah, absolutely. 106 tackles so far and 17 missed tackles.
Yeah, they're fighting, there's no doubt, and we expected that from the Ravens side, but they are playing an extremely good football side. And think about some of the players that haven't been able to find their way into this 17 for the Jillaroos. They are quality players as well, so well done to the Ravens for continuing to fight in this contest.
And of course, let's not forget it's their first ever Women's World Cup, doing their country proud to make the semi-finals, as we see a penalty now to Canada.
And their 4th ever game of rugby league together. Crazy to think that they've done that in 12 days.
Very true. And this time Canada kicking for touch off the back of the penalty, so they'll start their set 30 out. See the Jillaroos bench.
On a foot, not early.
There's Brigginshaw on the right.
Holding, go. Good work.
So the Canadians now. Schnorr gets it away to Andrea Burke out of British Columbia.
All the way, girls. Holding.
Approaching the 20, centre field. Waddell. Way now to Gillian Bogue. Bogue driving towards the 10.
Jimmy girls, run, come on.
Can they put some points on the board, Canada? Comes away with McDade, who shows it. And out to Petrinos.
Surrender! Stand now, 3.
Thomas
Hold.
Reynolds, a dummy half. She'll go herself, will she? Yes. Thomas Reynolds.
Okay,
Took
9,
4 Jillaroos to
16
take her
square.
down in the end.
On 4.
Foliaki around the
girls.
legs.
Go, 4.
Waddell. Inside to Marchak. Mandy Marchak reaches out. Referee
Hands
says
away.
short. Last
Hold the
tackle.
line. Go.
Natasha Smith from dummy half. We've seen that before. Natasha Smith has scored a try for the Canada Ravens. Smith scores. That's her 4th for the tournament. And they're up and about Canada.
Well, the captain Marchek had a crack on the previous play and just fell short. But Natasha Smith, we've seen her many times. The strength, the power, slams the ball down. It's Australia 42, the Ravens 4.
There she is, the try scorer for the Ravens, Natasha Smith. First of the day out of British Columbia. 7 hit-ups already today. And we called for it earlier for her to be more involved. You can see what happens and the effect she has when she does get involved, Natasha Smith. Conversion successful by Petrinos. And that's now 6 points for Canada as we have a look at the replay, Renee.
Yeah, Natasha Smith was one of the players that was rested in the last game against the Aussies. And you can just see that her strength and her talent on the field. She's an amazing player, and she's been one that's been so excited to be out here playing rugby league, and an absolute pleasure to watch.
She certainly is. And interestingly, that's the first try the Jillaroos have conceded in over 3 hours of football here as part of the World Cup. As Moran gets the ball back into play here. Inside pass to Andrea Burke.
Got it. Play on. It's back.
The ball spilled out there, taken by Welther
Stand
Naglis.
one, square.
And Naglis to
Hold
play it.
girls.
25
Go.
out. Canada on the board. Here it is now with
Back
Marchak.
up, Kenzie. All the way here. Go 2. Mark is okay.
And here's Gillian Bogue.
9. Release it. All
The
way, girls.
minutes and the
Stand.
work
Hold in.
Mandy Marchak has done in this tournament. She has just tried and tried and tried. Tireless effort from her in all of their games.
It's been tradesman-like, Andrew. And we also know she's not afraid to do a little bit of ball playing as well if called upon. Mandy Marchak, of course, the 32-year-old. As we see the kick come on the last from Canada.
Knock on. This will be 0.
0 tackle here for the Gillaroos. And just on Marchak,
Stand square. Hold, girls.
she's actually played 2 Sevens Rugby World Cups as well.
17. Up square.
It's quite a resume, and she's doing
Hold.
a tremendous job
Go one.
leading this Ravens outfit that only came together, well, not too long ago in their first ever World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they came to Sydney a week beforehand to get involved in the World Cup, and majority of these players have been handpicked from whether it's the Rugby Cup, the Sevens, or whether it's the Rugby Union World Cup. So these players have had to develop and evolve their game into a rugby league ball-playing game.
And we should add 3 Rugby
Hold
World
on.
Cups from Mandy Marchak to add to those 2 Sevens World Cups. And now
Stand
Rugby
down.
League World Cup as inaugural captain.
Hold.
Here it is with
Go.
Petrinos, the Ravens fullback. Plays it on the 30. Acevedo now, run from dummy half.
Okay, give her room, 16. Hold, girls, hold.
42-6, Gillaroos lead in this World Cup semi-final.
9 moves.
A spot against the
16
New Zealand
straight.
Ferns, 3-time World Cup winners on the line to be played at Suncorp Stadium next week. Strong defence
Stand
there.
down, five.
It was Meg Ward,
Hold in.
hails from Northern Territory. Here it is now once again, Mandy Marchak.
Last one, 21. All the way,
11
girls,
tackles
come on.
and 12 hit-ups to Marchak's name. This is the last.
Outside. Outside.
A bouncing ball to be fielded by Isabel Kelly for the Gillaroos. Stevie Schnorr is there, along with Petrinos and also Bogue. Wraps up Isabel Kelly.
Yeah, a bit of a reshuffle there. Isabel Kelly playing on the left wing now
Back 10 here.
with Karina Brown
Play on, you're on now.
having a rest.
Move.
She's gone off. Hopefully hasn't picked up an injury, and Brander out in the left centre position at the moment.
Here's Davis Walsh who
Release the
ran it.
legs
Now
to
it's
the
with
line, girls.
Ruan Sims who have set up this set very nicely
Back
for the
10 metres.
Gillaroos. Here's Moran steaming onto it inside to Apps.
Move, Canada.
Running the angle, taking it to the 30.
Hold here, hold here. Go.
Brayley darts off. Away now to Foliaki. Foliaki through the gap. She's got the fullback to beat. Wonderful pass. Oh, Meg Ward couldn't hang on to it.
Scrum. Girls,
Enterprising play from the Gillaroos nonetheless.
It sure was. Foliaki, ball in 2 hands. The dummy. She laid it up beautifully.
Scrum, girls.
Brayley jumps out of dummy half. Palms off McDade. A little 2-on-1. Meg Ward just couldn't get a handle on it there.
Good pressure there from Thomas Reynolds and Smith, and
Okay, girls, start
always a
point.
tough one to take. Tremendous work from Vanessa
Slide
Foliaki.
over, girls.
Meg Ward was just receiving treatment from one of the trainers
Okay,
for that
heads down,
left
hold the
arm
weight.
just before that
Hold
run
that
of
weight.
play as well too. So whether that had an impact on her getting her
Out.
hands on the ball.
Yeah, potentially did, Renee.
0.
The pass looked like it wasn't a bad one either. But meanwhile, Canada have dropped it, and
Let it go now.
it's Annette Brander
Run it
who's
again.
come up with it for the Gillaroos. Yet to open their account in the second half. Talisha Quinn storming onto the footy. Goes all the way, does she?
Okay, one
Talisha
tackle,
Quinn.
1, Kevy.
And we're going to head upstairs.
0. 1. Okay, I have a try. I just wanted to confirm that the first time she goes further, she actually gets it down.
Video after director. Mate, we're just looking at the grounding, mate, please. So tackle 1, live decision of try. Put the ball there. Got it. That's up. That's up. It's up, still up, still up, still up. Okay, we still lose sight of the ball there. Keep that rolling. Okay, it's up there. You got something from the other side, mate? At this point, I can't see the ball grounded at all. So it's always up there. Up. Okay, can you just show us that front angle again, mate, please? Let's make sure where the ball is. Pretty sure it's over the line. Yep, thank you. So we're on tackle 1. Ball's there, no, hands under the ball, definitely doesn't touch the ground. Okay, so I've got sufficient evidence here to overturn it to no try, and to me that's held up. Okay, we go to the board, no try.
So wonderful defence in the end from the Canada Ravens as we await an official decision.
Okay, time on. Tackle 1, it's held up. Markers, girls, you want markers?
So no try, as you heard.
Wait for the whistle.
Wonderful defence there from Petrinos, the Canadian fullback. Still a chance here for the Gillaroos. Brayley through to Studden. Moran now on to Kezi Apps. And Apps has lost it. So, in the end, magnificent defence all round from Canada.
It sure was magnificent defence, especially the Petrinos one you mentioned. And I could be wrong, but I think she's played every minute, Petrinos, and it's this driving defence. Again on the left side this time. You've got to give them a rap, these girls. It's been a tough campaign. There's Petrinos there. She's been fighting and fighting and under the pump from all these kicks and still stood in the way of Quinn and held her up there. Great job. And then they forced an error on the other side.
Yes, Natasha Smith got that away to Thomas Reynolds, and it was risky, but it should have been taken. Just trying to create some space there, Natasha Smith, and you can hardly blame her for trying something.
Well, it was the coach's instructions, wasn't it? He wanted them to play a bit more expansive footy, and when you're down, you play footy from anywhere, so you can't knock them for trying there. But now it's a tough set coming for them here.
Yeah, he made a comment coming into this game. The first game, he told them to hold on to the ball because in Union, you can get away with all those offloads. In the second game, he was just like, I bullied it out of you, but I want you to move the ball around a lot more. So we're starting to see them sort of take those risks a little bit more, but sometimes it's not coming off.
Okay, 6, give room now.
Here it is with Talisha Quinn.
Stand straight, hold the line.
A little bit of extra sauce in the tackle there from Stevie Schnorr. Here's Eliana Walton, offload away, Brayley, short pass, Ruan Sims under the post, the Australian leader, she scores, Ruan Sims, and the crowd truly appreciative of everything she's done for the Gillaroos. That's her second try for the tournament, Ruan Sims, as we have a look at the replay, Andrew.
Yeah, Brayley jumping out, giving the ball to Eliana Walton, back to Brayley. And Ruan Sims under the posts again, another 4-pointer to the Gillaroos. It's Australia 46, Canada 6.
So the try from Ruan Sims now to be attempted to be converted from Caitlin Moran. She's 5 from 8 so far today. Directly in front. 21-year-old from North Newcastle, Caitlin Moran, had a hand in a number of tries today. Dangerous kicking game, and she adds the extras. 48-6 rather. Gillaroos over Canada. It's a try apiece here in the second half as we head downstairs to Nathan Kalis.
Yeah, definitely been a much improved start to this second half. The Ravens have been very, very good. The intensity down here on the sideline, it's definitely lifted. The Ravens, you'd have to say, they've had the better of the first part of this second half. But again, it's just errors coming out of their own end. The 2 errors back to back. It just puts themselves under too much pressure. Ali Brigginshaw, she's just come off for a rest, been replaced by Studden. Brigginshaw looking to save her for the big game next weekend.
Thanks, Nathan. Yes, they'd be very tempted to wrap Brigginshaw in cotton wool. As we see Rowan Sims, the try scorer, bring it back
Release the legs now.
towards the 30.
Go one.
Here's Brayley,
Keep working out, Marco.
way now to Foliaki.
Tackle 2, release that grip.
Already to the 40, as we've seen so often today. Now it's
On
with
3 and square. Jimmy, here goes.
the number 16, Eliana Walton. Sims again with another hit up. Rowan Sims,
Let her up now. On
that's
4,
her 12th
square.
hit up,
Just stand.
and leads the
Go
Gillaroos with
Push up
Isabel
here,
Kelly
Marky girls.
in that category.
Last one. Mark square.
Foliaki
Mandy
again.
with me. Hold in. Go.
Last tackle for the
Nothing late.
Gillaroos. It's with Maddie Studden. Little kicker, however, it's gone straight to the Ravens.
Up square. All the way, all the way.
And fielded there very nicely by Nina Buey from Ontario. Here's Acevedo.
Tackle 2, give room, girls.
That's Maddie Studden. Just
Hold.
a little bit of attention just behind play. As we see now Waddell. Gets it away.
Rowan, give room. Wait with me.
Be
Go
played
square.
by Bogue, who's been busy for the Ravens today. Here's the captain, Ian Marchak. Got that away to the halfback, Sabrina McDade.
Hold square. Hold, he goes. Go 4.
Waddell goes for a little run herself. Oh, driven in a tackle by Kezi
Stand
Apps.
now, Kezi.
This will be last.
Hold. Go. Nothing late, girls.
McDade with the kick towards the wing there of Meg Ward, who appears to be okay. Of course, Renee mentioned she was getting a bit of treatment earlier, looked to be in trouble, but
Okay,
that's a
girls,
strong
stand
return.
up square.
We'll have a look at that
Hold.
hit from Kezi
Go.
Apps again.
16 not there.
Plenty in that one.
Haven't we seen some big contact in this
Mandy,
Rugby
out
League
there,
World
12.
Cup as
Come on,
Steph
go,
Hancock
go.
makes her way back on the field? Some big contact from Kezi Apps.
Andrew, you'd be able to, I guess, be the best backer of this. To have this sort of big contact, to go from week to week as a rugby league player, to do it and back it up 4 days in between, how much toll does that have on your body?
Oh, I can't believe they've been able to do it, to be honest. It's some of these sides, they've played big minutes.
Hold the phone, Andrew. Inside pass from Moran. Here's Davis Walsh. She'll do the rest. And another 4-pointer for the Gillaroos. Straight through the gap. Off a scintillating pass from Caitlin Moran and Nakia Davis Walsh. They're in again.
They sure are in again. It was a quick play the ball off the back of Hancock. Caitlin Moran, instead of going outside, decides to go inside. What about that footwork from Davis Walsh? The little shimmy, the step inside, slams the ball down. Australia 52, Canada 6.
Yeah, just stay focused around that ball, guys.
Welcome back. Yes, Nakia Davis Walsh, the 21-year-old, plays for the Redfern All Blacks, also has represented the Indigenous All-Stars. And there's Caitlin Moran with the try assist, yet another one today from her. Brilliant ball to attempt the conversion. On this occasion, unable to do it, but wonderful play from Moran today for the Gillaroos. No addition to the score. 52-6, Australia leading Canada.
The great thing about the variety of this Gillaroos side, time and time again, they've gone outside. This time, the little trick shot inside to Davis Walsh, and that footwork. I love watching her play. She's always got a smile on her face.
Footwork. Well, you talk about the big don't argues that are getting thrown out by a lot of the Jillaroos. There's been some great palm offs. They're so aware of what the space that's in front of them and the attacking play.
Stay with the girls.
Going to say she certainly knows how to find the try line, that's for sure.
One time she doesn't have a smile on her face when we cross to her, but she's been happy the whole tournament.
As we see the Jillaroos returning this off the kickoff to Isabel Kelly. Don't forget, don't miss a beat. Download the 7 Live app today. It's free. Watch every match live. The 7 Live app. Make sure you download that one today.
Move now, Canada. Give her room. Wait
See
here.
now, Annette Brander plays it. Brayley away now to Beck Young, and Young's back on. And we saw Steph Hancock back on in that earlier set of 6.
Come on, Mandy,
Who had a big run to set it up, and here she is again, Steph Hancock, the co-captain.
Hold.
Announced with Young again.
Last one, Mandy.
And the front row is doing the hard yards up the middle for the Jillaroos.
Not late.
Studden kicking on the last, taken on the full there by Petrinos.
You can see the intent in the last few sets from the Jillaroos. It's back to basics. It's through the middle of the park. It's through your Hancocks, through your Ruan Sims, through your Beck Youngs. Just get to complete. They're thinking about the final next week. It's a great attitude.
Buey with it. The centre 3/4 for the Ravens. Here's Andrea Burke. 4 Jillaroos in the tackle.
On 3. Hold here in the middle. Go, 3.
Elizabeth Steele.
Tackle 4. Space, Kezzy. Go, not square.
Haven't seen
not
much
square,
of her
Kezzy.
today as we see Bogue. And that was adjudged to have gone forward. And what about Sabrina McDade, the halfback? She thought she was through, Renee Gardner.
She did, and I think, what's the word that Billy Harrigan kept throwing out when a team is this far behind? The word empathy, I think, was used in terms of refereeing. That was a tough call.
Well, one man that knows a lot about empathy, Andrew Ryan, thought it was a tough call.
Oh, look, I think it is a knock on. It was.
That's backwards. Come on.
No, I think that's a knock on. They were disappointed, though.
Holding in. Out.
Caitlin Moran down on her haunches to take that one. Away to Studden, and now Brander.
Hands away from the head.
Tackled by Steele and Burke from the Ravens. Of course, as we mentioned, Canada's first World Cup. They find themselves in the semi-final against the Jillaroos. Certainly a commendable effort. They do trail, however, by 46 here at Southern Cross Group Stadium. Semi-final number 2. Winner to take on the New Zealand Ferns in the Women's World Cup 2017 final next week in Brisbane. Kezzy Apps looking to break the line.
Out together and square. With me here. On 4. On now, Mandy.
Jillaroos attacking yet again. Moran, Studden. Outside to Brander, got it away to Isabel Kelly. That was Acevedo hanging on the tackle for dear life. She did well.
Last one.
Helped by Schnorr there. Last for the Jillaroos. Little kick ahead by Studden. Bouncing ball again. Petrinos was there. And Petrinos, she's not getting many favours with these bounces today, Andrew Ryan.
Oh, they have been non-stop at her all day. There's been ones over her head, there's been ones on the ground, but she continues to stand up for a team.
Oh, no. As we see the error there from Megan Peculis.
Yeah, she's been fighting hard for her side, but the long ball, again, no empathy there, unfortunately, for the Ravens, but there she is packing into the scrum there. She just tries so hard for her team.
Out. Good work.
So the Jillaroos with a fresh set of 6 here, and Brander it is, Annette Brander.
Yep. Together, girls, hold the line.
Inside the 10 centre field, dangerous here. The Jillaroos attacking. Quinn.
On 2.
Talisha Quinn. Brayley. Short pass, Steph Hancock. Steph Hancock's over for the Jillaroos. Hancock scores. And good to see you back out in the field, Steph Hancock. tenacity she's shown, and she knew exactly where the try line was on that occasion.
She sure did, and they've got a great combination. Brayley, this was the previous run through Quinn, and Brayley sums up the situation. You can see the space around the post there. Steph Hancock, she grabbed a 4-pointer in the first half, and now she gets another one. It's Australia 56, Canada 6.
And there's Steph Hancock. Another one having a brilliant 2017 World Cup, 35-year-old. This is her 4th World Cup. 2 tries today for her. Of course, as we mentioned, the daughter of Rowan Hancock. Hails from Toowoomba originally. And she's got a double here today for her country. And the Gillaroos now looking to extend the lead beyond 50 points. Caitlin Moran adds the extras. Australia 58, leading Canada 6 as we head downstairs to Nathan Kalis.
Yeah, well, I think it's a real sign of respect to the Ravens team. The coaching staff of the Gillaroos, they've had to inject Steph Hancock back into the game, and since she's been back on the field, she's scored a couple of tries and really steadied the ship. The second half here, it's 16-6. The Ravens are down, so a much improved effort. Again, just errors coming off their own try line have really hurt them today.
Thank you, Nathan. Yes, costly error that proved to be, but once again, the stats only 8-7, Canada leading the errors. Not much in a lot of the stats today. It's just the attacking game of the Gillaroos that have proved too much, and certainly Canada are toiling away inside the last 10 minutes now. Played by Beck Young. This is Kelly, Isabel Kelly.
Together now.
Wrapped up by a quartet of Ravens.
Right here, girls. Go 2. Good work.
Brayley.
Tackle 3.
That time away to Vanessa Foliaki, the 24-year-old out of the East Brisbane Tigers. Brayley, Moran. Dummies to Apps. Goes herself, Caitlin Moran.
4. 9 evenings. Hold in. Good work, girls. 4.
Here's Kezzy Apps this time. Got Steph Hancock in support. Goes herself. This will be last.
Hold with me. Go. Nothing late here.
Moran. Little kick over the top. Looking for Quinn.
All the way now. Let her up.
And well taken by Nina Buey. It was.
You're right.
Tackle there by Quinn as we see Acevedo from dummy half, and driving defence once again from the Gillaroos.
Yeah, you can just see the improvement, though, in this Ravens side defensively. They're still working for each other. Coming off the back of an 88-0 loss in the previous game.
Wait.
They've come a long way in this competition, the Ravens, but a really polished performance from the Gillaroos.
Hands away now.
I think one thing to notice, I don't know if it comes up in the TV broadcast as much as it does up here, but in the ref's mic, you can actually hear the positive chat from the Ravens the whole way through, and they've been like that in every game they've played. They've never sort of turned on each other. It's always confidence and positive. Hard to do when you're 88-0 behind, or in this case, 50 points behind.
On the line, girls.
As we see a penalty going the way of the Ravens there. High contact. The penalty's now 3-1 to the Ravens. Just under 8 minutes remaining here. It's Australia 58-6 over the Ravens. Semi-final number 2. Here it is with Andrea Burke. Driven back by Steph Hancock, Apps, and also Foliaki. Comes away now with Fain. Strong run from Mackenzie Fain. Still going. Can they get another, the Ravens? Christina Burnham to McDade. McDade just hesitated and
Stand now, Steph.
in the end took the hit up herself.
Go 3. Play on.
Here's Natasha Smith. Loves a run from dummy half. Good meters.
Tackle 4. Give room. Here goes.
A little bit of momentum here for Canada. What can they conjure up? Here's Marchak.
Last one.
Last
release.
tackle inside the 10. Centre field. Comes the way of Stevie Schnorr, little kick ahead. Running through there was Burke. And the ball will trickle over the dead ball line. But that's encouraging from Canada.
Yeah, right idea. Just execution a little bit off there from Schnorr. You could see some space in behind Isabel Kelly on that left edge. Ball did trickle over in goal there. And the 7 tackles set to the Jillaroos.
In the middle, girls, on your foot.
Schnorr's confidence is definitely improving in this game, and like in the game in rugby league in general. The first game we barely saw her move the ball around. Now she's moving it around, she's trying and risking those kicks.
She certainly is. Good to see her take the line on a bit more. Stevie Schnorr, 32-year-old, plays for Seattle Mist in the Legends Football League in the USA.
She's a talented human. Rugby union, rugby league, LFL. Anything else?
Much like yourself, Renee.
I wish. I'll just stick to boxing.
Here's Steph Hancock playing it in the halfway. Moran, Studden. Short pass to Foliaki. Running the angle infield there was Vanessa Foliaki. Now it's with Moran again.
Still got it.
Apps. Wrapped up by Natasha Smith and also Megan Peculis.
Tackle 4.
As Brayley goes to Moran down the short side, coming through was McGregor. And just holding on there, the tackler, guess who? Mandy Marchak, the captain. It was her 19th tackle, as we see last now. High ball. It's gone backwards off Burke there. And it's with Stevie Schnorr, who did well there with plenty of attention from the Jillaroos.
They did well. They had plenty of numbers back there, the Ravens, on this occasion. Again, the Jillaroos threw quite a bit at the Canadian side that set, but they were equal to the task again.
Natasha Smith.
Let's watch that arm, Stephanie.
It is now with Gillian Bogue, who's worked hard from the get-go this afternoon for Canada. And here's Peculis. Got the offload away. Burnham, Natasha Smith. Wrapped up by Ward. And also Steph Hancock there in the tackle. And here's Thomas Reynolds from dummy half. And this will be last. McDade. Kick, centering kick. Underneath it though, no troubles whatsoever for Nakaya Davis-Walsh.
Give room now, stay square. Go 1, 11, back 10.
Here's Meg Ward with the run. A strong one at that. Good to see her playing this game out after a potential concern earlier. McGregor towards halfway.
Tackle 3.
We've got time off here from the referee.
Number 3. Yeah. Just
so Australia leading Canada 58 points to 6.
Tackle 3. Wait for your replacement. Girls, do you want markers?
There's Kezzy Apps there, just coming from the field for the Jillaroos. Good to see her running it out in the end. Kezzy Apps, 19 tackles today, 12 hit-ups. A solid performance by her in the back row for the Jillaroos. Young to play it. Rowan Sims. Bustling away towards the 30.
Hold! Go.
The Jillaroos on last with Studden. Kick along the deck. Petrinos back there for the Ravens. And Beck Young had a play on that one-on-one. It's play on here. Moran spun it wide. McGregor goes outside. Meg Ward.
Okay, 10, let her up now. Give room.
So, chance here for the Jillaroos to add to their tally. Steph Hancock. Dummies, goes herself. Steph Hancock.
We're short, so you need to give her room.
Inches from the try line. Brayley. Moran did well to catch that. Studden inside to Davis-Walsh. Good tackle there. Taken by Buey.
Onside here.
Studden. Looking for Foliaki. And
21
there's the
into a
error.
defender.
Good up and in-your-face defence from the Ravens.
It sure was. This right edge again of the Ravens. Stevie Schnorr putting the pressure on Foliaki over here. And they turned up on the inside too. There was another little inside pass from the Gillaroos. And Buey, bang.
Yes, Buey, and then it was Stevie Schnorr and
When you're ready, it's your first.
Nathan Kalis. That must have got the heart pumping down there.
Yeah, really enjoyed that hit. Look, definitely can't question
All right,
the
hold the
effort
weight,
and
girls.
the intent
Funnel,
of the
you go.
Canadian Ravens
Out.
team this
Hold it.
afternoon. They've been outstanding. Can't wait to see them in their next World Cup. The difference has been the class. The Gillaroos have been too good. Very, very confident going into the final. I'd love to wish both teams, Gillaroos and the Kiwi Ferns, all the best in next week's final.
We see Thomas Reynolds with a big run for Canada. And she gets a penalty as well. And finally, she says,
Play on.
quick tap from Canada. Burnham taps it through the hands. Now it's with Megan Paculis in the Gillaroos territory. Just over a minute and a half to play here. They'd love another try to finish the tournament, the Ravens. And as Nathan Kalis alluded to, they'll only get better and better, Andrew Ryan.
They sure will. Well, we've seen them improvement in 2 weeks.
Here it is.
Here's Buey with the big run.
It's amazing, really, how much they've improved in that time, let alone another 4 years and some opportunity to grow.
As Burke goes to Stevie Schnorr.
14 up, off the grip.
Stevie Schnorr certainly
Hold.
another one of Canada's standouts. The 2017 Women's World Cup.
Stephanie, last one.
Their first
Hold.
ever Women's World
The
Cup.
mark
This is
goes.
the last, played there by Mackenzie Fain. McDade through the hands now. It's with Paculis, who goes to Natasha Smith, beats the first attempt. This is the last, gets it away. But the Gillaroos were there and waiting, and guess who? Led by Rowan Sims.
Just let it go. Control it for me, mate. To play the ball. Here we are, girls. Yep. Go.
So it's with now
Okay, 10,
Meg Ward.
stand to the line, girls. Hold. Hold. Go. 1.
And now here's Rowan Sims.
11, move.
11
Two.
tackles,
Hold here.
16 hit-ups from Sims today. Eliana Walton offload away. Davis Walsh.
Stand now, girls. Holding. Hold. Go. 3.
And here's Meg Ward from dummy half, and this could be the final play. As the siren sounds, and the Gillaroos of Australia are into the 2017 Rugby League Women's World Cup final. It is a rematch of the 2013 World Cup final, and Australia defeating Canada 58-6 here at Southern Cross Group Stadium, 52-point margin. And now with a chance to defend their title against the 3-time winners New Zealand Ferns. Sets up a mouth-watering final, but Andrew Ryan, clinical by the Australians today, but hats off too to Canada.
Oh, you're spot on. It was a great display from the Gillaroos here this afternoon. But this Canadian side, they did not stop trying all day and all competition, really. So massive congrats to them. But the Gillaroos, they were quality today. The Gillaroos 58, Canada 6.
As we see a jubilant Gillaroos side, and of course this will be the 3rd consecutive Women's Rugby League World Cup final between Australia